Hey, Nick from Tier 11 here. One of the things we're hearing a lot about Performance Max is that it's like Facebook, and especially like Facebook pre-iOS 14, and even like Facebook back in 2015 or 2016. And how accurate is this? Is this right? Yes, it is, with some differences. So I'm going to go through 3 similarities of Performance Max to Facebook in the way that it's being described, and also 3 things which are very different. So starting with the similarities. First of all, Performance Max uses videos and images to interrupt and get top of funnel attention, top of funnel traffic. So just like Facebook, Performance Max will use videos on YouTube to interrupt people in what they're doing, get their attention, get them to watch the videos, get them to click on the videos. And we'll also use display images to get people's attention. If they go to a website to browse, they're on that website, Google's going to put display images to get their attention, interrupt what they're doing, get them to click on that image and go and buy, or at least visit the website. The next similarity is with audience targeting. So Google's audience targeting has come so far. The granularity and the segmented audiences you can target now, right down to brands, right down to people who are in market looking to buy certain products, or affinity audiences where that's a lot like Facebook interest targeting when people are pet lovers, water sports enthusiasts, motorcycle lovers. There's all these kind of different audience options in Performance Max now, which are really, really similar to the Facebook audience selections. The other similarity to Facebook, and this is more a similarity to Facebook back in the early days in 2014, 2015, 2016, it's new and it's a paradigm shift in online advertising. So before Facebook advertising really took off, it was all about search ads. It was all about PPC and some display. And Facebook advertising wasn't really taken seriously, except for the people who recognized how big it was going to be and took advantage of that opportunity and got in early. So that's where I would say right now, we here at Tier 11 believe we're at with Performance Max. It's right at the beginning of this new era in online advertising because it's such a shift from creating ads to identifying who you're looking to advertise to, what your products are, who your target audience is, supplying all the assets, and letting the machine learning achieve the goal for you. Okay, so that's the similarities. Let's start with the differences, things that are definitely not the same. So first of all, Facebook is a social platform. When you advertise on Google, you're not advertising on a social platform. There's going to be no comments on your ads. So you can get a lot of feedback from your Facebook ads. When you run an ad, you're going to see a lot of comments. And those comments are either going to help your ad or they might give you some feedback on how people are interpreting your messaging. You don't get that with Performance Max and Google Ads. Yes, people can comment on YouTube videos, but they're going to do that when they go to the channel, watch the video. They're not going to do that when YouTube uses a video to interrupt what they're already watching. If there's a display ad, then you're not going to get those comments. And on your search ads, you're not going to get that kind of feedback. And that kind of engagement, too, can really help Facebook ads. So that's a big difference. That Google is not a social platform. People go to websites for so many different reasons. And display ads, it takes longer for Google to work out when to place the right image, the right time to the right person. YouTube videos, people don't share things on YouTube with their friends. They go to YouTube to learn, to be entertained. They usually have a pretty specific intent when they go to YouTube. When people browse Facebook, the frame of mind is usually very consistent. They're there to switch off, scroll through their feed, see what their friends are doing, post some things of their own. That's difference number one. Big difference there. The second difference is that Performance Max is not fast. It's definitely not as fast to get feedback and results as Facebook is. Think about Performance Max as an aircraft carrier, okay? An aircraft carrier, or maybe a jumbo jet. You're going to set the destination when you take off. There is a lot of setting the direction, and I have no idea how to fly a plane, but this is how I imagine it works. Adjusting the dials, you're pulling the levers to lift the wing flaps up, and eventually you pull the wheels up, and you're really paying attention to the weather, and it's all that focus on the beginning. Once you're set in your destination, a lot goes on autopilot. And the pilot then is there to make sure everything's staying on track. Now, think about Facebook ads. It's more like a fighter jet or like some kind of jet that you can launch and you're quickly making adjustments. You're turning things on and off. You quickly know whether this particular ad or campaign has legs. With Performance Max, we have to give it time. We have to put a lot of thought, a lot of strategic thought into how to build this campaign and then let it run. And the pilot's job is to make sure everything's on track and make adjustments accordingly. So there's a misconception that Performance Max is meant to be some kind of easy campaign. It is definitely not. Performance Max has made the level of knowledge, and especially the level of strategic knowledge and advertising knowledge, much higher. It has not lowered the bar for entry into Google Ads. It has raised the bar. Now, the third difference is to do with the audience targeting. Yes, we have audience targeting in Performance Max, but is it the same as Facebook targeting? No. Audience targeting in Performance Max is not so much targeting as it is audience signals, and that's the name. You give Performance Max an audience signal. The purpose of that audience signal is not to define the targeting with boundaries. And this is Google's official statement. The audience signal is meant to accelerate the machine learning. So Performance Max campaigns are learning machines. They're going to learn. If you launch a Performance Max campaign and you don't use any audience signals, it's still going to run, but it's going to take a lot longer. But if you were to let that campaign run for a year, and all else being equal, you're using the right messaging, the right creative, the right videos, then that campaign will eventually learn about your customers and start performing. However, if you are to launch that same campaign where everything else is set up correctly and you put your customer list, your existing and past customers into that campaign, that's telling Google, hey, these are people who are our customers. Start by looking at people like them, and that's likely going to be a good place to start. You can also use keywords as an audience signal. So if you're selling car detailing products, it makes sense to create an audience signal that's using keywords: car wax, ceramic coating, car polish, car paint protectors, keywords that people in your market are going to be searching for. Now Google is like, okay, it's going to use that signal and going to look at those people first and still learn from it. It's not going to stop there. It's going to learn from those people. That's going to speed up the learning. Then it's going to go up, look beyond that, and eventually find the people who are most likely to be customers. And here's the crazy thing. In theory, eventually after a Performance Max has been running long enough, the audience signals become irrelevant because the campaign has the learning, now knows who the customers are. And it's looking at market signals. It's looking at how the search trends have changed. It's not just looking at a specific list. It's just mind-blowing. So those are the three main differences. And I hope you've enjoyed this. We're going to be releasing more content about Performance Max because it's a new world. It's right at the beginning. And we are so excited to just even think about what this campaign type is going to look like in 2 months from now, let alone 6 months, let alone a year from now. It's really changing the game. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next video.